Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and hello again to everyone around the world. I'm Paul Sisler, and this is In the Moment. And I am literally giddy. Someone that I have watched for quite a while is going to be on my show. I am just like, I have like the feisty, the just tells it right to you, Lana Quest, aka Rosa Sparks. Lana, how are you
Yay.
today?
And the crowd goes wild. That was like the best introduction. So weird. Oh, I'm fine. But you were talking, and I'm like, this is weird. I feel like I should be saying, hey, and welcome to the. Like, it was so. I was doing my show.
Yes, yes. And everyone, check out the quest, okay? Check out the quest. Um, let's see. I didn't I don't no, I didn't, darn it. I didn't create a banner for that. Um the I'll just the quest show. There we go. The Quest Show. The Quest Show. It's on YouTube. I don't have the link. We'll have to get that a little bit later. I'll have to put that up when I post the video. You've got to check out Miss Sparks here. I am telling you, she is feisty. She tells you how it is. She brings the facts. She brings the truth. I'm just wow.
Introduction. Say some more.
Wow. Well, you hit a lot of topics and all that. You have covered, both of these administrations, the last one, number 45, and now the Biden administration, and the topics that you cover. You tell it how it is. It's, I feel everything that you're talking about because you have this passion with it, whether it's education, whether it's civil liberties, civil rights, women's rights. You're right there. You're right there, and I don't think people are listening to enough of us who are speaking about what's going on. They don't see what's going on. You know.
Right.
I did I'm part of, people go to tribunal2021.com. In 2021, the United States was found guilty on 5 counts of genocide, okay, crimes against Black, brown, and indigenous people. And it got no publicity. It got no, it didn't hit the media. Nobody was talking about it. And now here we are. Roe v. Wade gets overturned, and the whole world's come to an end.
Right.
Right. It fascinates me at how certain things are going to make the media, certain things don't. Obviously, calling the United States someone that's the country of the United States is not being humanitarian by the crimes it's perpetrating against people of color. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem to be that big of an issue because the left and the right just don't want to jump in on that. But now when you go to a huge political issue, pro-life versus pro-choice, they are all over that and propagating it.
Right, because no one did this for voting rights.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was only a matter of time, and we were screaming it, right? Like Black people, particular women and Black women in particular, were screaming like, "Listen, they're coming for your rights too. Like it's not going to stop here. If they're trying to take voting rights, what do you think they're just going to stop at the Black folks? Like they're going to hit all of the marginalized people."
Correct. And I just can't believe people are so dumbfounded that they don't see what's coming. Okay. You have an attack on different religions, everything that's not evangelical. Okay.
Right.
You have an attack on voting rights. You have an attack on Black, brown, indigenous peoples. You have an attack on women. You have an attack on the LGBTQIA communities,
Mhm.
wanting to abolish those marriages.
Mickey
Next,
Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah, no, I mean,
Sesame Street.
the things they make an issue. Black Ariel. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see.
Right.
100% of all films and shows were all about white people and white activities and white actors and white
Right.
this and white that. And black people come in and they take a few roles and no, you can't do that. What the?
Why? What did they think those old westerns? Where did they get those indigenous people? Because they weren't really indigenous people in those old westerns that they're watching on
Yeah.
Saturdays. They were white people in paint.
Yeah, I know. So no, it blows me away at the ignorance that is out there. People, they just don't have the critical thinking skills that well, maybe they've never had the critical thinking skill.
Right.
I don't know. Since only 25% of the population have an inner dialogue and 75% don't. I mean, maybe that's the issue. Not enough people talk to themselves. But the critical thinking skills are just blown away. In one way, I can't blame people for being ignorant to the issues, because when you're impoverished, you're middle class, you're out there working, trying to keep food on the table, roof over the head, make sure that your kids are going to school, are getting an education, and you're trying to, if you can, save any penny, dime, nickel you can to hopefully be able to afford a college education for your children so they can have something more than what you have. But you have to work a job, two jobs. You have single people that are working sometimes 2 and 3 full-time jobs. You have married people where one person is working 2 jobs and one's working 1 job, and just to cover the daycare, a job just to cover daycare. When do they have time to actually research what's going on?
Right. But it seems like there's a couple different people, right? So there's that person who doesn't have the time to research, who doesn't know how these things are impacting them. And then you have the people who are just like splurging on Fox News, and that's all they listen to. They're in the bubble. So even if you hit them with facts, that's not what they heard. Like, they never get facts. Like, no one ever, they don't get sources cited. Like, nothing is cited. No one is coming. It's just what they said. It's just what Sean Hannity said. It's just what Donald Trump said. He never has proof. They just listen to what these people say. And then there's a other group of people who just don't understand government. And that's a lot of like my people, like the people of color, really don't have clarity on how government works. And they're a part of that people who are just trying to work, get their kids to daycare. And they're like, I'm poor, this is how I live in poverty, nothing's going to change, because they don't understand if you're not voting, it's never going to change. But they just say, like, the people here, no one's doing anything. And they actually think like it's the government, like the big government. They're thinking like Biden is supposed to be taking care of, say, their water or their sewage system.
Right. And that's not exactly, and that's not how it works. And unfortunately, again, Department of Education, federal level, has no say in the curriculum. Right. They hand out the money, goes to the state level. The state decides where it goes. Well, the poor districts, they're just not getting the materials they need to have a good education, where the rich white areas, they get all this good funding. Now, of course, I'm going to hear some white people going, I lived in a poor district and I didn't get funding. Well, guess what? You lived in a poor district and you didn't get funding either, correct? Because you're in a low property tax area and you're kept there. You are kept there. And yes, it does happen. There are white people that their privilege doesn't get them the better education. Yes, but that's not what privilege is about. Mm-hmm. Privilege is you drive your car, you get pulled over by a cop, you're asked as a white man, can I see your driver's license and your registration, please? Where when you're a black person, is this your car? Does the owner of this car know you're driving it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we always have to remind them, because I always get that argument. Like, this woman wanted to argue with me, like, where am I doing better? My roommate in college was black and she was going to school for free. Where am I doing better? I had to struggle. And it's like, yeah, all of your struggles are legitimate. Understand your gripes, but they're not due to your skin color, right? That's a totally different thing. The system is
Correct.
rigged. The system is rigged against Black people from the beginning. Racism is a social construct. So, like, it's just rigged. It's rigged when you know that there's a reason why they put prisons in, like, suburbs and, like, places like that, way out like that, because on the census they count the people in the prisons. So they take the Black, brown, and indigenous people out of their homes in those neighborhoods, put them in the prisons, and then they count them on the census, and then they get all the funding.
Yep.
It's the whole system is just rigged.
I didn't know how bad it was until I wrote my book. All right. I have it. Trust me, the research I did, the case laws that I read, the documentation, the essays, the publications from the Bureau of Prisons, bureauofprisons.gov, the United States Sentencing Commission.gov. Okay, when you start reading these publications and you look at, they talk about systemic racism, systemic discrimination on a multitude of levels, systemic poverty, systemic this, the systemic that, all these different forms of discrimination. And they send them to Congress. Okay, Congress knows what's going on, and they allow it to happen, because who pulls the puppet strings on Congress? Corporations. It's money. So they know the systemic discrimination is happening. They know that these private prisons are set up for gerrymandering purposes, for funding purposes. They know. And they're making money off of it. It's all about money.
Right. I mean, there are some things that are, it's like they're slowly trying to fix parts of the problems because there's a lot of pushback, like, the school loan forgiveness, right?
Yes.
That is fixing the years and years that, for instance, Black and brown people get higher interest rates on their loans, right? We know that has been proven. There's data with that. So to forgive these loans that were already, like, those, what are those loans called, that prey on you, predatory loans, right?
Predatory loans,
Right.
yes.
So this is the administration trying to fix years and years and years of predatory lending. Like, we know that this is going on. And it's so crazy to see Republicans out here upset about that, because it's like, so did your kids not go to college? Like, you don't want their loans forgiven? Don't take the money. Don't take the money. Like, why are you getting upset? Like, why are you taking the money? But they do take the money, just like they took the relief money. I hate Biden. Gimme, right? Like, I hate this administration, but you're cashing the relief checks. You're cashing the extra unemployment that you got.
Yes.
And now we're complaining about inflation. What? I don't understand.
Well, and again, everyone acts like it's Biden's fault. Biden didn't attack Ukraine.
No.
Okay.
He didn't attack Ukraine.
Vladimir Putin attacked Ukraine. Well, our choices are put troops on the ground and send our boys over there, or let's do some sanctions.
Right.
Now, those sanctions, that is the humanitarian route to go to try to get control of the situation and have an effect on it.
Right.
Now, that's going to have an effect worldwide. It's going to affect everybody. Wheat, oil, all these things.
Right.
And it's going to affect us. But not only does it affect us, it affects the UK.
Mm-hmm.
It affects
Right.
Africa.
Global, just
Ex-
global. And
Exactly.
even if we weren't, even if Ukraine wasn't in war with Russia, we would still have inflation. Like it would still be a thing because we were in a
Yes.
pandemic for 2 years. And also, when unemployment is down, because unemployment is low. So that means that people have jobs, people are spending. That's going to cause inflation and that prices go up when this happens. Corporations, they know what's happening right now. Their
Yes.
inflation will stop at some point, like it'll get lower, but they're not going to get lower before these midterms because the corporations want their tax cuts from the Republicans. So it's their benefit to get all these Republicans elected, and they want them in Congress, just like the Saudis want them in Congress. It's their benefit. So they're going to
Yes.
sabotage and tip the scales in our elections. They've been doing it forever.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Well, like I said, the corporate puppets.
Yeah.
Okay. The corporate puppeteers. When you, I've written it's called a cost of living amendment,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it guarantees a cost of living wage.
Mm-hmm.
And if corporations raise their prices, the wage goes up to meet that. If corporations lower their prices, the cost of living goes down, the cost of living wage goes down.
Mm-hmm.
That eliminates inflation. Because if we had an inflammatory period like we have right now, the cost of living would be around $40 an hour, 80,000 a year. So come January 1st, minimum wage would go up to $40 an hour to meet the cost of living.
Right.
Now, over that next 6 months, if corporations decided to raise their prices again, guess what? In 6 months, that minimum wage is going to go up again. So they can keep raising it up,
Right.
but we're going to keep raising the wage up to meet that. They're only hurting themselves. So again, and I'm not some genius. Trust me when I tell you, economists know this. Economists have known this for a long time. So why hasn't it been done? Because corporations wouldn't have as much in profits as they do. Look at the profit. Look at Netflix. Look at
Yeah.
Disney. Look,
Yeah.
my God, outstanding profits. And they're bitching because the stock market's dropping and they're going from $300 a share to $250, or they're going from $50 a share down to $40. So what? That's not the economy.
Yeah. And it's just dumb because who cares? Because guess what? Who cares about the cost of cereal if you're sitting in jail on a weed charge and your Republican governor won't pardon you? Like, who cares if you're
Yes.
in jail? Who cares about that if you're somewhere, I don't know, being forced to have a child that you don't want and can't afford? So there's inflation, and then on top of that, Republicans want you to have babies. Like, well, what are we talking about right now? Like, what's more important? We're
Yeah.
surviving. Obviously, people are making it because they're still buying. That's why inflation's so high. People are still traveling. People are taking these trips, vacations, buying cars, buying. They're still doing it. That's why it's so high.
Well, it's more of a political aspect than the fact that people are buying, because not a lot of people are out there with the type of income that people believe they have.
Mm.
Um, it's not so much the spending that's raising the prices on things; it's the corporations gouging.
Oh, they absolutely
Right?
are.
It goes more to the gouging than it does because people have money. Because again, when the economy is good and people have money, inflation is actually going to go down in the long
Mm-hmm.
run. Because again, as more people can buy and more people have, okay, it goes back to when demand is high and supply is high.
Right, right.
Okay, so the prices are going to go down. One of the other problems that we have is supply chain issues.
Right, because China
Okay,
is China even open, or are they still what's going on in China? Because they have,
China's getting ready to collapse economically.
yeah,
Yes, and that's going to have an effect on the world. I mean,
right,
we our import export business with China is huge. We
Mhm.
have so much stuff shipped over here from China. And
Right.
when that collapses, that means we got to either buy somewhere else or
Right.
we have to start producing.
Right.
Guess what? We don't produce microwaves. There's not a company in the United States that makes microwaves. Google it, find out.
Wow.
And if there is now, it's happened in the last 5 years.
Mhm.
Okay, but as of 5 years ago when I wrote my book, there was no company in this country that made a microwave. All made overseas, which
Wow.
means your microwave breaks down, you're going to go back to paying $500 for a microwave because the supply is going to become
Right.
very low
Right.
and demand is going to increase. And as that demand increases, that price is going to go up. And of course, when you have corporations that like to gouge people, there's,
Mhm.
there's what you have,
That is insane. I guess a good thing we did the CHIP Act. Well, I still hope it's a little.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is why, again, I'm pushing for a new taxation system. I'm pushing for a universal basic income. And people are like, well, where are you going to get the money for that? The new taxation system. For you, those of you that don't know, we have the 16th Amendment, which allows an income tax upon the people. Okay.
Mhm.
The majority of people that work paycheck to paycheck and have small businesses, 0 or 1 employees,
Mhm.
pay, a little over $3 trillion of the $3 to $4 trillion the government collects, while corporations that have over $80 trillion in transactions only pay 400 to 800 billion. So my transactional tax would actually get them at 10%, where we would only pay 10% of our monies that come to us, which is approximately $20 trillion. So we would only pay about 2 trillion in federal income tax, where corporations would then pay 18 to about 28 trillion.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 You're talking them numbers. Talking numbers.
Well, and I've
Yeah.
had other people look at my tax plan, and
Yeah.
so far
Yeah.
nobody can find a hole in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, um, let's do it. Let's bring the money in, get a universal health care, universal basic income, education to everybody that wants to go get an education. You
Yeah.
don't have to go get an education if you
Right.
don't want to, but if you want it, it is there.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right. Because
Yes.
those are those are other gougers, man. The price of education is insane. It's like the cost of a house.
It's more than, well, yeah, it's the cost of the house. I went to the College of Southern Nevada from 2008 through 2011, and I accumulated a 6-digit debt. Okay,
Wow.
4 years, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and I have paid 50 out of my pocket. I just got a $20,000 decrease in it, so you
Yay!
know,
Thank you, Biden.
Biden. Thank you, President Biden. But I still have a balance.
Right.
You
Right.
know? But again, why does it have to cost at all? When you look at other countries, you know, it don't cost that much. Even if they charge, it doesn't cost near that much. And the systems they have set up are so much more beneficial to its people.
Right.
And that's part of the other problem. Our country doesn't care
Right.
about its people,
Right.
where other countries take care of their people.
Take
If
care of
you
the old, right? Like the elderly, we just kind of like mentally ill.
Oh, you got politicians that want to privatize, if not eliminate, Social
Yeah.
Security.
Yeah. And telling you in your face.
Yeah.
They're not even hiding this thing. It's like this is what we're going to do if we're elected. So I don't understand like the seniors in Florida. Like, are y'all not paying attention to what's happening right now? What's going on?
Yes.
Wow, they about to put y'all back to work. Like y'all are really gonna be at Walmart greeting people because you're going to have to. What? Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Yep. Corporate greed, half the reason. Hi, Honor.
Yes. I know, and I look at a lot of these things. I was invited to a Twitter space a few weeks back. Andrew Yang was on there, and I got to come up and ask Andrew Yang a question. And basically, I brought up Elon Musk. I don't know if you watched his AI day, but he introduced his robot. He introduced two robots, but Optimus, robot Optimus. And a lot of people are putting him down like, oh my God, Boston Dynamics, they got things that dance and blah, 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 and yours couldn't even walk yet. Here's the difference between Boston Dynamics robot and Elon Musk's robot. Elon Musk's robot is a self-learning robot. You can show it how to drill things. You can show it how to put shingles on a roof. You can show it how to mop the floor. And it will learn these things and become better and better and better at it as it goes. It is a learning AI. You can show it how to do something. You can show it how to pour a glass of water without spilling it. Okay? It can now do that. And once it knows how to do that, it can learn how to pour other things. It's a learning robot.
Like the Jetsons?
Yes. Here's the thing. In 3 to 5 years, he's going to manufacture over 1 million of them, and they're going to sell for under $20,000 a robot, less than a car. Now, for 20 grand at McDonald's, you can teach the robot to flip the goddamn burgers.
Yeah, people gonna lose jobs.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Now, Andrew Yang talked about this when he ran for president. He talked about the cyber industrial revolution that was coming, and our legislators don't care. They're not getting things done for the people. They're not doing a UBI. They're not getting universal health care. They're not doing taxation right. Andrew was all about that, and people basically laughed him off the stage, except me. I actually went back and have a subchapter in my book called Andrew Yang, because I listened to what he said and I researched it. Okay. Now, if Elon's making these robots and these robots are going to replace jobs, how are people going to feed themselves when, we have 159 million jobs here in our country, and these robots are going to start taking them over 1 million at a time. Within the next decade, of course, the robots are going to start building their own robots because that's Elon's plan. Within a decade,
feels like a mad scientist.
Within a decade after these robots hit the market, you're going to replace about 60 million jobs. What are those 60 million people going to do for income? What are they going to do for, living, a roof, food? What are we going to do?
I don't know. They better hope Republicans aren't in office, because there's not going to be any safety nets. People are going to be starving.
Yeah. People are going to be going
minimum wage is really what? Can minimum wage drop? Because they're not going to want to pay anybody anything. Like, what? We don't need you to do this job. We'll get one of Elon's jets and AIs to do it. We don't need you. Why would I pay you? You want a raise? Get out of here. We have an AI in the courtroom right now.
Yeah, it's going to be, yes, please quit. I don't want to fire you because I don't want you to get the unemployment. So please quit so that I can get a robot in here that's going to cost less than you. And the robot doesn't take breaks. The robot doesn't file grievances, because the robot just does its job and gets recharged and keeps on going.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I know. These are all the issues that nobody's looking at, nor do they care, because they're making money. They're making money.
Right. Basically.
Yes. Racism, poverty, recidivism, all these different topics, bigotry, xenophobia. Nobody cares because they think that, well, everything's going to be automized. We're not going to have to care about these people. We're not going to need them. And a lot of people have said like, well, they need us to buy stuff. No, they don't. Remember when I told you that 159 million people had paid 1.1 trillion in taxes? They only had a 6.4 trillion payroll to them. 6.4 trillion in payroll. They paid 1.1 trillion in taxes. Those are the people that go out and buy everything. Then you have your small business people that have 0 or 1 employees. They had 12 trillion in revenue. They paid 1.87 trillion in taxes. So there's another $10 trillion. So you got $15 trillion in transactional revenues coming from working people. Over 180 million people only spend $12 trillion to $15 trillion. The other 80 trillion is spent by corporations buying and selling to other corporations.
Mm.
They don't need us.
Yeah.
They're doing business with each other.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen to America because they're out here making women have babies. So that's even going to, the population is going to be even larger. So what's going on?
Well, that has nothing to do with the workforce. That has to do
I know
with
what that has to do with.
well, I'm gonna say it. That has to do with white people wanting more white people because white people are becoming a goddamn minority, and white people are scared fucking shitless that everybody else is going to take over, and white people are no longer going to have a say in anything.
Well,
and oh my God, if we don't control everything, are they going to do to us what we did to them?
Right, and it's twofold too because it's a couple things. Black women are graduating college at higher rates. Now this makes Black women have to choose. You know what I mean? Like, wow, can't go to college because I'm being forced to have a baby, or maybe now you have to drop out of college. So there's that because white fragile men are very afraid of Black women. We watch Marco Rubio and Kemp and those debates. They were afraid of those Black women. And then the other point is they're in for a big surprise because me and my co-hosts talk about this all the time. You ain't gonna get the white babies that you think you're gonna get. You're gonna get a very diverse group of babies.
Yes.
So this is not gonna work out the way you think that it's going to work out.
Exactly. It's not, because I want you to think about it. Well, you don't need to. You already know. I want them to think about this, okay? Their religion tells them that they can't get an abortion. So white people aren't getting the abortions. They're having the babies. And now you're telling everybody else that they can no longer have their babies or get an abortion. They have to have their babies. Those are going to be babies of color. Those are going to be babies of
interracial babies, like
yes, they are going to be coming from other countries, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Yes, they're not going to be pure white, as if pure white is a fucking thing, anyways.
Right. It's just not the miscalculation. I don't really. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And a lot of it is control and controlling women and just the promises to the evangelicals. And nobody even knows why they're doing it. I think Republicans they're just doing it because evangelicals are telling them to do it. Like, okay, sure, we'll do it.
Well, and then let's go with something that George Carlin pointed out. All right, Republicans who are just against gay people, against the whole LGBTQIA. They're not having abortions. Okay. That community is having less abortions than any other community out there, and yet they're against that community. Okay.
Wow.
Well,
they're just against everything that they consider like the other, right? Like you're not straight and white and male, so I am against you, right? because I'm afraid of you, or you're living out what I want to live out. So I also have a problem with you, Mike
Yes.
Pence.
Yes. And I think that's what a lot of it is because, again, I've had these discussions. People ask, like, how can people become like that? Why do people get like that? Why are there white nationalists, white supremacists? Why do people even fall for that? And I've watched a lot of documentaries. I've done a lot of research on this, and believe it or not, these organizations target people that are either homeless or looking for a job, or they're trying to make ends meet. They have no family, or they're going through hard times, and they have a conversation with them, and then they start throwing the blame at somebody else. This is why you're poor. This is why you're broke. You can't get the job because they gave it to that black man down the road. You can't get into school because they gave it to that Hispanic man down the road, or they gave it to that woman over there, or they gave this to that person over there that doesn't line up with who they look like. And they start the brainwashing. And then, because now that person has somebody to blame for whatever reason they're in the position they're in, they now fall right into that syndrome, that Stockholm syndrome bullshit, and now just start becoming what it's sickening.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you just become racist though?
No. No one. You have to be taught to be a racist.
Yeah, it's like
You have to be taught that.
Yeah.
Someone has to teach you that hatred.
Yeah. It's like you're growing up already. You don't even know these people. Like imagine just you're hating someone that you don't even know. You've never met, you don't talk to, you've never broken bread with them. You just don't like them because they're the other. They make you uncomfortable from the things that you heard and all the stereotypes, like, oh, black is bad. Like the big boogeyman, they're monsters, they're thugs, Chicago, Detroit, like, oh. And it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's like always out of their mouths. But Chicago, but Republican states have the most crime.
Yes.
The most crime, the most poverty, the most undereducated people, the most people without health care, the most maternal mortality, like the most of everything, the most mass shooters.
Michelle asks, when the robots take over, will they stop hating immigrants? No, they won't. There has to always be an enemy.
Right.
There always has to be an enemy.
We program them to be racist.
That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me.
They'll have like white robots, black robots. Like he'll just like program them. Like those AIs are taking your jobs. It's gonna be a whole civil war with AIs.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is America. How could we not? Because if we go by thinking about that, like we're going to be replaced by all these millions of AIs, then you would think like, wow, racism would kind of like die out a little bit. It won't be as bad. But America's not letting that happen. What are you talking about? What?
No. And then you're going to get one that's going to want to run for office.
You're right. Exactly.
And it's going to be, well, you're an AI. You don't have rights. I should have rights.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then when they give them rights and they take over Congress, oh my God.
Oh my
goodness. They're just going to take over the world.
Man, listen, there will be the first LGBTQI AI. It could be out here.
I'll
I
buy
mean,
one of those.
right? Come on, Elon. You can't just make a regular AI. You gotta like just
Put some flavor in with it.
exactly. Come on with that. We gotta do
Yes.
that. This world is
Yes.
kind of crazy, man.
I know. I know. I tell you, the world, we're on a cusp of some severe change coming. And what's sad is I don't know which way it's going to go. And November's going to tell us.
All
It's going
right.
to tell us everything we need to know, because
Yeah.
we're going to either become a tyrannical nation, or we're going to become a nation that fixes its wrongs. It's one or the other. You know, we're at that point. It's
Yeah.
going to be one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. And we should have known this was going to come. Like, this was brewing since Obama. I mean, sure before, but Obama really kicked it off. Like they were very upset about this. Like that black man in that tan suit, they were not happy with him. So yeah,
No,
yeah.
I have a viewer that just texted me. Remember, it will have to be born in the U.S. No foreign chips.
American made AIs. That's right.
There we go. There we go.
That's amazing.
No, no.
Yeah.
The world is looking at, and again, this is going to sound arrogant that every other country looks at the U.S., but the reality is the United States sets a precedence on things, and other countries do look at us. I've been in enough spaces with people from other countries. They do look at us, and they look to see what we're doing, where we're headed, how we're handling things. And when we have things going bad, like, my God, George Floyd, when that happened, look at all these other countries that were putting up, having protests and putting up memorabilia for George Floyd and stuff like that. It affects the world, you know. We just took away the rights from women from bodily autonomy. Look at over in Iran. We have women burning their scarves. Okay. We got young high school girls coming out and throwing rocks at the police, standing up for their rights to not have to wear a scarf because the morality police say they have to. We are having an effect around the world. People are standing up. And here's what's sad. Other countries are progressing forward, and we are going backwards.
Right, because the Republicans are our morality police.
Yes.
No gay sex, no gay marriage, no abortions,
Yes.
no voting.
Well, look at Clarence, okay, sitting up there on the Supreme Court.
Oh no, we want biracial marriage. We can have that one.
Yeah. No gay marriage, but yes, us mixed people, we can have that. We can have that mixed marriage.
We can have the mixed marriage. Yeah, we got that because hey,
is Clarence that naive that he thinks that once they get rid of gay marriage that they're not going to come after interracial marriage? Can he be that ignorant?
I don't know if they will come after interracial marriage because there's a lot of them who are married to women of color, and I hate to even say that they're women of color who just bought into like the whole white nationalism stuff, like Vance. I had to look up his wife because when he was like, had the debate with Ryan, and Ryan basically said, "You're a racist and you say white nationalist things. You're supporting the replacement theory." And he's like, "How could you say that? I'm not racist. I have interracial children." And I'm like, who is his wife? So I looked that up and she's Indian. And I'm like, you really okay with him saying this, ma'am? Like, what is wrong with you? But they're bought in.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, anybody could be a white nationalist. Look at Candace Owens. She's a white supremacist. Herschel Walker is a white supremacist.
Kanye, oh my God.
White supremacist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I don't get is, do they think that because they stand up for it down the road, they're going to be accepted as one of them?
Right. Because you never will. Say
You
the
know,
wrong thing. Just say one wrong thing and you're out. Look at Michael Steele. Steele was the head of the RNC. That was back. Well, see, again, that's what they do. They use you as props, right? So they
yes.
put that black man as the head of the RNC because that was back in the time when the Republicans were like, we're going to reach out to some blacks and some brown people. And so we can get them on our side, make them conservative. So then they got the black man, kind of like they got Herschel, to try to
Mm-hmm.
reach some black people to bring them into their party. Then Trump came up, and Trump's like, we don't have to reach out to the black folks. We just cheat. And they're like, oh, we can cheat? This is where we are now. They're not trying to reach black people. They don't need us in their party. They don't. Trump administration. Where was the people of color in that administration? What?
Right. Michelle posts, they will come after interracial marriage. You cannot keep the white race pure with that being legal. Defeats the purpose of no abortions.
That's
You
true.
know, that makes sense.
Yeah, but people sleep with who they want to sleep with. So they can be out here, you know what I mean? Because you're always gonna have them people on the side that's doing that stuff, and them babies are gonna be popping up. They may not be married, but they're gonna be having relations.
Yeah, well, go back and look at Thomas Jefferson. Yes.
You can't stop them. Yeah,
No.
you can say no interracial marriage. That don't mean no interracial sex, because that will still happen, and they will still have those babies.
Yes, yes. Well, and here's another scary aspect and all that. I don't know if I told you, I was a bounty hunter when I was in Nevada. Okay, and I had to again bring this person in, and we thought that maybe he might be staying at a storage unit. You know, so we went into a storage unit. It was a butcher shop. It was a place where they were doing illegal abortions.
Ooh.
Now, this is when abortions were legal. I want you to think about this. This is when abortions were legal. Okay. So I went back to my professor at school and did some asking about this and did some research. And there's hundreds of thousands of illegal abortions every year in this country where women are dying because of it. You know, back alley abortions still exist. And that was with it being legal.
Right.
Now we've made it
Right.
illegal,
Right.
and you think those numbers are going to go down?
Right.
No.
Right.
No, that's going to get 10 times worse, 20 times worse, 100 times worse.
Right. Right. It's really sad. Like, if you really think about it, like, we do a lot of laughing about this, and you know what I mean, making jokes, but it is really sad because what you just said, it's like not only the women are going to be doing this, it's going to be children, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
children have Google. They have phones. They try to figure stuff out on their own now, right? So they're going to be trying to Google, coat hangers and what people did before, abortions were legal. What were people doing? And they're going to try to do this stuff. That's the sad part of this. This is
Well, yeah.
awful. Or
And
kill themselves, because
yes,
that's another thing that's going to happen. Suicides among young women are going
yes,
to go up.
yes, yes. It's going to go up, and it's going to go up dramatically. I mean, it's already bad. I mean,
Right.
look at the issues that we're having right now in the LGBTQI community,
Right.
especially with trans. Okay.
Right.
We have transgender people that have a high suicide rate because they're just so depressed because they got everyone else coming against them for whatever reasons they may, and they're just trying to fit in. They want acceptance, they want help, and they want to be who they believe they are. Okay. And now you're going to have young women, girls that are going to be like, I can't have this child that my dad raped me and made me, pregnant. I can't have this child that my boyfriend did this to me because he convinced me this is the way to go and I won't get pregnant. I can't have this child because, I got raped by this person or
Right.
whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah. What are they to do? Who are they going to reach out to?
Right.
And with states making it illegal, I just somewhere I watched a YouTube video, a TikTok. I read it in one of these news links and all that. A young girl in one of these states was like 14, I think it was, and went before a judge wanting to get an abortion.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
judge denied her, saying that she wasn't mature enough
Yes.
to make this decision. She wasn't mature enough to make this decision when she wants to have good grades and get through school.
Exactly.
You're
She
taking
decided-
away from
right.
her. You're saying
Exactly.
she's not mature enough. Judge, you're not mature enough to sit on that fucking bench. Sorry.
Right. And she filed all her paperwork on her own. She Googled, right, how to
Yes.
do or go through the court system on her own. She didn't have an attorney. She did this on her own, and they're calling her immature.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Let me tell you, you can't even. I know we say you can't even adopt at that age, right? You can't even adopt a pet. My daughter wanted to adopt a dog, a grown daughter at that, but you had to be 21 to do it. You had to be 21 to adopt the dog.
I know.
So
You have to
they're
be
trying to
21 to adopt a human being, and yet we can force a 14, 15, 16-year-old to have a child. Either change the adoption laws and make it to where 14, 15, 16-year-olds can adopt, or don't allow them to have babies. Give them the choice to have it or not have it.
sign a legal document. So that doesn't even make any sense. I remember when we go to the hospital, you're about to have a baby, you got to sign everything. You just sign. So what are we talking about right now? So your parent has to sign because you're under 18? Like this paperwork? Like, is it legal? Can a 14-year-old sign like this birth certificate? Because is it legal if you're under 18? Like, what is this legal? No, this is a real question right now. If you are having a child at 10 years old, you have to sign the birth certificate. How is your signature legal if you're not an adult?
This question came up, and I don't know about all states, but I do know that a lot of states require an adult to basically be the co-signer on the birth certificate or the secondary signature, saying that they're going to be responsible for the child.
Look at that question.
Yes, there will be unintended consequences. No one is thinking about the sexual assault that occurs in the church. What are they going to do when the 55-year-old deacon is the dad? Yeah. Well, and not just the church. How about these politicians? I mean, my God, you got Matt Gaetz trapped.
We'll never know about them, though. Those are the ones we're not going to know about.
Well, yeah, because they have a $200,000 a year income where they can get on a jet plane and fly their underage person across country borders into another country and get it done. Yeah.
Yeah. Never know. We'll never know about those.
Oh, no. We'll know eventually because somebody's going to leak something somewhere and we'll find out about it.
Right.
And then, of course, we'll get the regular rhetoric that says, no, that's not what happened. I was there for something else. I went to Cancun because it was my vacation, not because I was getting my mistress an abortion. Not that I have a mistress, but what people are accusing me of having. And no, she's not 15. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was my niece. You misinterpreted. Yeah, right. Okay.
Wow. But I really never thought about the suicide aspect until just now. Like that, it's really going to go up because you're already dealing with the trauma, if you were raped, of a rape. What if you're raped by a family member? So you got to deal with the rape by a family member. What if it's your mother's boyfriend?
Well,
This is just all of
well,
the
not only are we going to be looking at a higher suicide rate, we're going to be looking at a higher murder rate, murder
murder.
slash suicide rate.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. You've
Yeah.
got a 16-year-old and a 16-year-old, okay?
Mhm.
16-year-old girl gets pregnant.
Mhm.
16-year-old boy's like, my life is ruined because now
Right.
I have a responsibility. I got to have to pay child support. I got to get a job. My college scholarship is gone.
Right.
You know, bang,
Yeah.
bang, there you go.
Remember Carew? What was his name? Carew, the basketball player. He did that to his pregnant girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drug rate's gonna go high.
Yep.
All of it. All of it.
Cancun, the new abortion capital of the U.S. There
Mm.
you go.
Yeah.
Michelle, do you follow me or do you follow Lana or do you follow both of us?
Co-host. That's my co-host.
That's your co-host. Michelle, all right. Lana, when you talk to your co-host, give her my @ on Twitter and have her DM me because I want to make sure I'm following her.
Okay.
I love you, Michelle. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for watching.
I don't know why I didn't make the connection, you know.
Because she never has her name. Honor. She goes by Honor. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes. Brilliant. Again, it's devastating to see what this country's coming to. I'm hoping that in November. I'm an independent. Okay. I used to be a Democrat. I went to school. I saw that Democrats didn't always represent what they said they represented when they got elected. So I saw politicians then as corporate politicians. I no longer see them as left and right. I see them as either corporate politicians or humanitarians. Mm-hmm. In my eyes, you're only one or the other. Mm-hmm. You're either taking corporate interest first or mm-hmm. human interest first.
Right.
And that's how I vote. There are none, zero humanitarians on the right.
None. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Zero. You know, when I was growing up and I hung around these hooligan neighbor kids, my dad said, don't hang around them because they cause trouble, they vandalize things, and if you hang around them, guilt by association. You don't have to do anything wrong, but people are automatically going to assume you do.
Right.
Okay? Republicans, you continue to condone white supremacists, Proud Boys, KKK, Boogaloo Boys. You will not condemn them. You accept their money. In my eyes, right now, I see all Republicans as racists and bigots and misogynists. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say all of them are.
Right.
But in my eyes, that's how I view them. When they say they're a Republican, my first thought is, oh my God, is this person a racist?
Yeah, me too. I mean, the racists think that Republicans are racist. I mean, wouldn't they know their own people? I don't see them running. I don't see neo-Nazis, Klan Billies, Oath Keepers running to the Democratic Party. There's a reason. Where did David Duke go? Where he felt at home.
Exactly. Exactly. Guilt by association. If you are someone that believes in conservative values, then get out there and condemn your goddamn party.
Right.
Condemn them.
Right.
Okay. There are good conservative values. There are good conservative values.
Yes.
But none of the people on the right represent those values.
None of them. They're not. They're how? They're overreaching. How are they? It's like, I thought they wanted small government. No.
They are the biggest socialists in the world, and they don't even know that they're a
Right.
socialist.
Right.
Okay. Did you vote? If you voted, you believe in socialism because your tax dollars are paying that person you voted for. You're a socialist if you vote. So, Republicans, if you don't like socialism, do not vote.
There you go. Republicans, stay home.
Because a vote means you're voting for socialism. You support socialism.
Oh my gosh. Republicans don't vote. Just stay home. I don't need to vote. Trump said stay home.
Oh my God. And you know, a lot of them are going to say, that's not what socialism is. And it's like, okay, so we want universal health care. That's socialism. Well, how about our universal roads that we pay for with our tax dollars? Oh, wait, they're just called roads. We don't put the word universal in front of it. So that's not socialistic. The word universal is socialistic. We live in a universe. I guess we're a socialistic universe. I mean, they don't use logic anymore.
Right. None. Zero.
Yes. My friend just texted me again. And he goes, yes, if you don't believe in socialism, stay off the goddamn highways.
Okay. Stay home.
Yes, Michelle. Yes.
Oh my God.
There are a lot of people that need to pick up a book and learn some things. Yes.
Seriously, pick up a book or like get an audio book. You don't have to read it. Like, if you don't want to read, get an audio book. Someone will read it to you.
All right. I got some recommendations here. Hold on. I got some recommendations. Okay. All right. This is just to start you off. Okay. This is just to start you off to get you on the right path. The Miniature Guide to Critical Thinking. Okay.
Honor says that all the time. That is what Michelle says all the time. People need to have more critical thinking.
Then next one, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. Okay. That's the next book that I endorse. Okay. Now, because you got some critical thinking skills, you're going to understand Marcus. Okay. After you read Marcus and you have a concept now that you can actually think logically, sit back, relax, listen to some conversation. The red herring effect.
There you go, everybody.
The red herring effect.
There we go.
Okay. This will abolish systemic discrimination. This will end homelessness. This will end poverty.
That's right. Pick it up now. Where is it? Amazon?
Yes, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Google Play, Apple.
There we go.
Yes. Oh my God, critical thinking is a lost art. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Boy, is it? Oh my God. People are just lazy. People are lazy thinkers, like just lazy.
Well, they just don't even understand the art of an argument to begin with and all that. Premise A and premise B.
True.
Then you have your conclusion. And premise A and premise B, I'll give a quick example. All cars are black. John owns a car. Therefore, John's car is black. Now, premise A has to be true and premise B has to be true for the conclusion, and with the conclusion correlating with that to be a sound argument. If not, it's just a valid argument. All cars aren't black. So it's just a valid argument, because if all cars were black and John owned a car, it would be a black car, but all cars aren't black.
All cars aren't black.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
It is. It is. People don't like simple. Like, the overarching thing with these Republicans and these MAGAs is just racism. Like, it just really is. They don't care. It's racism, it's tribalism, it's I need to win at all costs. Because if you're out here saying, my cause is abortion because I'm pro-life and I don't want the kids to die, and then we see that Herschel out here having women have abortions, and then you go, well, it's better than Raphael Warnock wanting hundreds and thousands of women having abortion. I choose one over the like, how are we rationalizing this? Like, you're rationalizing it because you have a purpose and a goal, and it has nothing to do with all these stupid ass talking points that they keep doing. It's abortion, it's this. No, it's not. It's Republicans want power. The people and the MAGAs that follow them, they're used to that white male patriarchy. They're okay with it. Like, they like to see that, and that's what they want to see. They don't want to see a diverse government. They don't want any of that. They don't want equality because equality scares them. They feel like something's going to be taken away from them. Then they actually have to work for something, because that's really kind of like what is happening too. These Val Demings and Stacey Abrams both talked about the Good Old Boys Club.
Yes.
The debates. And that's exactly what it is. The Sean Kemps, the Greg Abbotts, the Marco Rubio, these men did not have to work to get into these schools. Donald Trump's, their daddies paid for them to get into these schools. Meanwhile, Ketanji Jackson, the Kamala, Stacey Abrams, these women are working. Raphael Warnock, like, these people work hard to get where they are.
Yes.
White men are right.
And speaking of Val Demings, did you watch her destroy Rubio?
Yeah, she just took him and like
she annihilated him. Love her.
When I heard his voice, I'm like, who is that? Because guess what? I have not heard Marco Rubio utter a word for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he sits behind Twitter and like tweets out Bible verses. You don't even know what he sounds like.
Yes.
How do you... That's awful.
Well, Lana, this has been this hour and 7 minutes has flown by so fast. Yeah. I could sit here and talk to you all night long. I tell you.
Because I could just talk.
Yes. We have to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I'm available.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll come on yours.
Yes.
Anytime you're available, come on mine. We got to do this more often. This is a great discussion. I said I could sit here all night.
Yeah, so much to talk about. Yes. We have to have a part 2.
Yes, definitely. And obviously, I'm a big fan. You know that. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I love it. You put the truth out there. Just keep it up. People need to hear the truth.
Yeah, we all do.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. It is Friday.
Yes, you too. All right, everybody. Remember, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way. Thank you.